Start the meeting. Welcome to the City Council meeting for the City of Gunter. Pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the City Council for the City of Gunter, Texas, to be held on December 18th, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. in the Gunter Public Safety Building located at 105 North 4th Street, Gunter, Texas, at which time the following will be discussed and considered. Pursuant to, you may read this entire thing, or? No. So let's call to order a regular council meeting and start with invocation and pledge of allegiance. Adam, do you mind?
No, that's fine. Invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you. We thank you for being in our midst tonight, Lord. We pray for peace, love, and joy, as it says in this season, Lord. We pray for those that bear great responsibility, Lord, that no matter what the season is, they're protecting, defending others. So we pray for those first, Lord. But we pray for everyone, Lord, and that a spirit of brotherhood reigns throughout this land, Lord. We thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon us as a country and a city, Lord. And we thank you for all these things in the name of your precious Son. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. We don't have any citizen comments tonight, so nobody signed up. So we can start, I guess, with Adam. Do you want to start us on Director Parks and
Yes, sir.
what?
Yeah, I'm just going to do a trash update because it seems to be what's in my world more than anything else at the moment. I looked at the website today and I saw trash actually moved under my department. I was like, oh.
You're welcome.
Tidings of joy. Just want to give a summary because the transition is going well and communication is always the key. I was recently told there's no such thing as over communication. I agree with that. So this is a good opportunity to update y'all and anyone watching on YouTube. Just a brief summary. Alford's residential bins have either been delivered right now and they're done with it, or tomorrow morning they'll be finished, all the residential bins. The commercial dumpster transition was coordinated between Republic and Alford. It's gone very smoothly. We haven't had any complaints that I know of. Bulk pickup today. We work on trash every day, coordinating all this. And just to let everyone know, because there's been some miscommunication on that, I confirmed with them bulk pickup includes what the residents are used to. And that is mattresses up to king size, microwaves, desks, couches, TV sets, everything you want to throw away, basically. Water heaters. The only thing is refrigerants, refrigerators, and AC units. Those do have to be, the Freon must be removed and certified by a company that does that and tagged. Concerning recycling, that's another thing I think there's been some miscommunication out there on. We have a lot of information on the website. We're sending out more all the time. Just want everybody to understand is the reason we're implementing a new recycling program, it differs from the recycling program we've had in the past. Recycling collection centers have a very specific criteria in collecting recycling. If food is left in containers, liquid, all that, it's turned down. It becomes trash and it's no longer recycling. So for everyone that's seen all the carts always picked up, I can guarantee most of the carts that were been picked up in the trash, they've turned into trash. They didn't go into recycling. So it spoils the entire load if there's non-recyclable materials in there. So what we're hoping to offer the residents of Gunter is a true recycling program, not just using the words, but one that adheres to real recycling guidelines. And what we've asked is that a resident agrees to join us in this program, that both parties are committed to actual recycling. The program costs $1 a month. And if you're someone that recycles a lot of materials and needs a second cart, it'd be additional $1 a month. You can't make someone recycle. We recognize that. If somebody wants to just use a trash cart for everything, that is their prerogative. Given this, we hope that it makes sense that we will not pick up a recycling bin that contains non-recyclable material. beyond all that, what we've done is we've cut out the middleman, Mustang Water, and we've captured basically all the business that was never coming to us, which was commercial and industrial as well. And so, we're a city that doesn't have water. So one of the things we do want to engage in is trash service. It also creates an additional relationship with the residents, gives us the opportunity to reach out to the residents through billings if we so desire. And so it just evolves us as a city, in my opinion. And we're 100% behind it. I would say we are stretched a little thin, but I think we absorbed this completely with no additional personnel. And my hat's off to Jamie and Deetra and Cameron. I mean, we've all pretty much, and Alan, everybody has jumped in on the trash. So I know from a staff perspective, we really appreciate it.
And Adam, let me add to yours real quick, because I was in the meeting for the training yesterday. They also allow us to be able to put in flyers for any additional information that Mustang would not allow us to do.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons why I brought this to everybody, I believe in June, is because we had no communication avenues outside of social media, no bills that were being sent. As a matter of fact, we couldn't even get the list from Mustang for months to be able to make this happen. And when we found that we had 2 price increases that we were not aware of and was losing almost $700 a month of taxpayer money, we looked at this and said, nope, we gotta straighten this out. We can't throw away your guys' money just over a couple of trash cans. And yes, this has been going on since June. The contract was up July 1st. We asked for an extension to get us to January. So obviously that's an additional 6 months that we've had on this conversation.
Yeah, we've been receiving numerous phone calls all week. And actually there's quite a few that are calling in really receptive to the trash program, the recycling program.
Yeah, because the recycling program, everybody needs to understand that 10% of that truck, anything above 10%, once they dump it out, it's their responsibility as the trash hauler to put it back in their truck and not take it to the dump. So
That's all I have. If nobody has any questions.
Yeah, so on the recycle, just so everyone will know, if they do put something in there, or like say if there's still like a slice of pizza in a pizza box and they don't take your trash can, they're gonna leave it there, so it's your responsibility to take out that,
It is.
put it in the
that
trash.
contaminant.
That is
Yeah.
correct. We are going to evolve a policy. We're going to talk about it. We will be evolving a policy because obviously if somebody just continues to do that at some point, there's really not a good reason for them to be recycling at that point.
And glass is not considered
Glass
recyclable.
is, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, glass is one exception. Of course, glass is recyclable. However, it's the most hazardous material. It breaks, and therefore, because it's handled recycling, it presents a hazard to the employees. And so that's why we remove glass at their request.
Yeah, it's recycled on an industrial level. not a
Yeah,
residential.
Correct. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
All right. We'll start with agenda item number 1.
Eric, did you not have anything?
I don't have it.
Director Kane.
We have to approve minutes.
And then approve the consent agenda.
We need to go to tab number 5.
Number 5, the consent agenda. To consider an approval of the minutes from November 20, 2025 City Council regular meeting and the December 4th, 2025 City Council regular meeting. Consider approval of the Gunter Police Department activity report. We want to do these one at a time. Or
It's consent, you do it all at one
Take
time.
the consent
consider
agenda A through
approval
D.
of Gunter financial report for November of 2025 and consider approval of the MDD financial report for November of 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
So it was Wayne first. Jerry was second. So not bad. All right, let's move on to number 6.
All in favor?
You gotta vote.
Oh,
Gotta get a vote.
All in favor?
Call for the ayes and the nays.
Did you think I never sat over there?
Yeah.
All right, so we got Wade with first, Jerry with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
You're opposed to me?
No, unopposed.
Move on to number 6.
And Mayor Pro Tem, if we may, we need to move agenda items 10 and 11 ahead of 6.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And then what you'll do is read the public hearing and then give me a time to open,
Okay.
and then citizen comments and then time to close.
All right, so agenda item number 10, we'll open the public hearing to hear public comments regarding the proposed amended and restated finance and project plan for the reinvestment zone number 1, basically TERS 1, the city of Gunter, including amendment of the boundary of TERS 1 and the amendment of the projected cost within the project and finance plan, and to provide a reasonable opportunity for any citizen or property owner within the zone to speak for or against the proposed amendments. Bridges Phase 1,
And the time?
And we're opening at
7-11.
They will have a brief presentation for
Got it?
Do you want to do that as part of the public hearing?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. Perfect. Mayor Pro Tem Council, thank you for having me. Jordan Sawyer, I'm the Regional Director of North Texas for P3 Works. We're the city's PID and TERS Administrator. So what's before you tonight, and this is following the recommendation of the TERS number 1 board just a little bit ago, is the amendment of the boundaries of TERS number 1 and the update to a amended and restated project and finance plan. Essentially here, TERS number 1 was created back in 2012. Excuse me, it covers a portion of the bridges development that was amended first in 2022, then again in 2023. That development agreement was amended there. At the 2023 amendment to the development agreement, the project and finance plan for TERS number 1 was also amended to change the increments that the city was giving to the developer at that point. What's happening here? TERS number 1 boundaries. I don't know if we have the presentation for that one. While that's being pulled up, the boundaries of the TERS are being shrunk at this point. And essentially, I think we've talked a little bit during the work session, is part of that is following the creation of TERS 1, there's been TERS 2 created, TERS 3 and 4 are also on your agenda tonight. The state statute would not allow the city to create TERS 3 and 4 because at that point it would have more property in, more appraised value of property in a TERS than the state would allow. So that's essentially what is happening tonight. The boundaries of TERS number 1 are being amended, and under that TERS number 1 original development agreement, there was an agreement with the developer to pay them $13.2 million or through the term of the TERS. So at this point, $13.2 million is still the expectation of what's going back to the developer. Because it's coming from a smaller portion of the property, there was an increase in the amount of increment that's going to the developer from 50% to 60%. So really, the presentation here kind of shows through what the original boundary was, if you go back the other way. So this is what TERS 1 is as we're walking in today. What's being proposed tonight is to amend it to be this new boundary that would exclude that's what's in the dashed lines. Excuse me. And you go to the next slide. And on here, what we've done is run a feasibility study, which is based on the city's tax rate and a growth rate of what we've used as 5%. We always want to show this as a conservative number. And as I mentioned earlier in the TERS board, that over the last 5 years, the growth in this actual area has gone between 16% and 51% over year. So that 5% is really very, very conservative. And what that actually generates is $30 million of TERS value. So the city's tax rates applied by the actual taxable value in the TERS based on this assumed 5% growth rate generates that $30 million. And then if you go to the next slide, what this shows is that we're anticipating that $13.2 million, which is the absolute max that could ever go back to the developer, occurring here in about 2043. And at that point, any other funds available in the TERS would go back to the city. So the other question I think that had come up, and just addressing it, happy to answer any others, was the value of the property that is no longer in the TERS. 100% of the taxable value in that, any taxes generated there would come back to the city directly and would now be part of the city's general fund.
And that's when they pay their property tax before January 31st.
That's correct. Yeah, and to be very clear, a TERS is not a new taxing entity. It does not levy a new tax. It is not levying an assessment. It is just an identification of uses of funds already collected from those homeowners.
What does it do to the, like, so if, for example, if I lived in that area that I'm on a TERS now all of a a sudden I'm not, what does that do to me?
It will not change your tax bill at all. It really is not anything different from a taxpayer's perspective. You are now just paying the taxes as you were normally. Those tax dollars are being
Just going
collected and
somewhere
are just
else.
being redirected differently.
And you are not here on behalf of the developer?
No, sir. I
Just
P3 works.
yours.
We are the city's PID and TERS administrator. We work specifically for the city.
More than that. Just wanted to make that clear.
Yes.
And I know Jordan is not acting in his capacity as an attorney at this point, but Jordan has done quite a bit of economic development as an attorney in his prior position, so
Including
He is
for
in-
the city.
incredibly familiar with PIDs and TERSs and all the
And
things.
familiar with Gunter.
And Gunner, and
He's been
we are
here
very
for the
lucky
8
to have
years that
him.
I've been here, he was here prior to that.
So, with the readjustment of the TERS and the new revenue that'll be increased by the city, is that gonna put us in a pickle at that point of reporting our taxes?
So really from tonight, I know that was specifically a diligence item that was brought up, that I know we worked with the mayor and we worked with Eric and the city's financial advisor and a third-party consultant to specifically analyze that. I know the mayor's, it sounds like is unwell right now, or is not feeling well right now, and so she wasn't able to present some of that, but I know she may want to talk a little bit on that. But I know that was part of the diligence we had run to see what that potential SB2 implication would be for next year. So I do know, and I don't know, Eric, if you want to speak on that, just from the TERS perspective, just because we're only talking on the TERS amendments.
Absolutely.
I'll limit that piece there.
Okay.
But I do know that was something that was specifically looked at, and especially your financial advisor, we hired a third-party consultant specifically to look at that question, and everybody was comfortable with that.
Ten and
10
11.
and 11.
Just get that forward.
Yeah, this is a public hearing, so I'm happy to sit down, and I'll come back up if you have any questions.
Okay, you can ask if there's any citizen.
Yeah, the citizen comments.
Anybody have any comments that are part of the TERS one?
All right. Give me a time.
7:18, we close it at 7:18. Number 11. Number 11, discuss and consider and act upon an ordinance for the city council of the city of Gunter, Texas, accepting and approving the amended and restated finance and project plan for the reinvestment zone 1, the city of Gunter, amending the zone boundary, amending the project costs, and providing an effective date for the bridges phase 1 TERS.
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance to amend the reinstated finance and project plan for reinvestment zone 1.
Okay, got Jerry with the first.
Just a quick question, did we vote on 10?
That was a public hearing.
Got it,
not
public hearing,
something
got
you
it.
needed to
Thank
vote
you
on.
very much for following that.
No voting.
Yes.
Got it, public hearing. My second.
I got Pat with a second. All in favor? Any opposed?
Okay, so now back to 6.
Well, I don't know. I'll got it.
No, I haven't voted yet, and I still don't know.
Which is only amending
I
those
eyeball
TERS
everything.
1. How about you, William? You want your TERS pulled out for your property? That's what it looked like on the map,
Yeah, I'll be out of the TERS.
but you won't be out of the taxes, trust me.
No, the taxes will remain the same. I don't think it makes a difference one way or the other what we do.
It's moving values is all.
long have we been tabling this for now?
No, this is
This is
a new one.
We've closed the public hearing, so we would have to renotice and start this all over again.
We just bothers, it wouldn't seem to make.
It would change values, all the numbers would
Like I
change
said,
again.
It's taking water out of one glass and filling one all the way full and leaving the other one empty. So,
But why? Solely so we can move forward with TERS 3 and 4? That's the only reason we're doing it?
Yes, we would.
Yes.
There's no- there's no other
this would be
reason.
required for us to
So
initiate
that
TERS
assumes that
3
we
and 4.
want TERS 3 and 4, so if we vote no against this, TERS 3 and 4 dies.
No,
it's
because we
already
got 3
to
yeses.
something. I just
So,
need to know if you're abstaining or
or voting, or,
voting, no, opposing,
I'm gonna say nay.
okay?
I'm gonna abstain.
3-1. So it passes.
Agenda item 11 passes and we're going back to 6.
We make it 6.
6 is where the fun begins.
Hold on just a second, I need to add something. Okay, and so for the record, I need to state the ordinance that was approved, for Jordan. The ordinance number will be 2025-12-18-01.
She's got it.
And then we're gonna go back over to item number 6, and I'll need you to read this and give me a time to open.
Okay. Agenda item number 6, a public hearing. This hearing is to hear public comments regarding designating a geographic area located within the corporate boundaries of the city as a tax increment reinvestment zone pursuant to Chapter 311 of the Texas Tax Code to be known as a reinvestment zone number 3 for the city of Gunter. This is for Platinum Ranch. And we'll open it at 7:23.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, thank you for having me again. For the record, Jordan Sawyer, I'm the Regional Director of North Texas for P3 Works. We're the city's Pit and TERS Administrator. So, excuse me, before you tonight is the ordinance to create an adopted preliminary project and finance plan for TERS number 3. This covers what is the Platinum Ranch development. That agreement was signed back in April of 2025. So that is the development agreement at that point. There was an agreement to go ahead and to create this TERS. So the participation rate here is for 33.33% over a 40-year term. This TERS covers about 2,000 acres, so it's a little bit bigger than the PID that was already created back in August. This would again be to create the TERS and to approve the preliminary plan. Anticipated, again, conservatively, this is using the 2% growth you see on the feasibility study to generate about $350 million in new retained revenue for the city and about $535 million in total revenues. And again, this is assuming a 2% growth with a recession every 10 years. That's not the growth rate that Gunter's seen for a long time. So that may well more than that, but we always want to be conservative in giving those numbers. The dollars generated, so that's out the new retained revenue, that $350 million is back to the city. The other portion of that is about $157 million that goes through an economic development program to the developer of that area. Again, this is all part of that development agreement that was negotiated in 25 for the Platinum Ranch development. So happy to answer any kind of TERS specific questions.
What is this rate going to be at?
Excuse me? 33 and a third. Yeah, 33.37.
That's what I make sure I read that right.
33 and 30.
Sorry, 33.37. That I used the wrong numbers.
33.37?
Yes.
Couldn't just do a third and make it.
That's why I said a third, but it is
Too many
33.37.
decimals after
Who's
that.
getting the third and who's getting the 2/3?
Excuse me. The city is getting the 2/3. 1/3 is going to the, or 33.37% is going to the developer.
Better than the 100% where you were.
Eric, when did we approve the deed?
EVD didn't get specific on those terms, so he said that you would consider a TERS, I believe.
But yes, when we approve
Oh,
it.
when?
Yeah, when?
April of
Yeah, it
25.
was April, May of 2025, I think is when it came to you guys. So I guess that's.
Well, I like the answer too.
Jerry, any questions?
Because as you'll recall, it pulled in what used to be Crooked Cross.
Yes, and we've been talking about that since 2024, I think even 2023, where he was wanting to do a TERS, I'm taking a guess in hopes that Gunter's rooftops grew to then offset, so he'd have,
I think that's all
Bridges
their hope,
and-
that outside of their TERS is that the rest of the development grows too. That's why we pressed for the preserve in a non-TERS only period.
I think when he first came to us, he was asking for 70% TERS, if I wasn't mistaken.
And he might have been, but he was trying to get under ownership at that time too, I believe, so.
Can you please remind me of, go back to, so you said that the TERS one was gonna be at a growth rate of 5%?
That's what we're anticipating in
And
that
then
area.
this one's at 2%.
2%.
Why is the variation with the same city?
So there are homes in Bridges already.
Bridges has infrastructure
yeah.
stuff already, and Platinum Ranch has a significant amount of
You're
infrastructure.
saying growth is growth, right, projection? I was just curious.
Yeah.
Growth.
Yeah, but we're able to project the growth that actually happened in Bridges 1 over the last few years has been either anywhere between 16 and 50%. And so in that specific area, we see the growth going a little bit faster. Again, across the whole city, with the infrastructure needing to come in, that's why we run that very conservative 2% with a recession every 10 years. And really, what that growth rate is it's all of the feasibility study to show the city that this is what it could, almost in a worst case scenario, look like. If the developer, one of the reasons for a TERS is to incentivize a developer to develop well and to develop faster. So if they have a super high growth rate, what the city's already done is capped the amount that goes back to the developer. And so if they hit that amount, if they grow faster, what it means is they will get the same percentage. They'll just hit their cap earlier. So we run it just in case everything goes wrong, but that's also.
so if they hit it in 10 years, then the TERS is done.
Well, yeah, once the term is hurt, if we get to 40 years and that hasn't been hit, then the term would be done.
Yeah,
But if they
it's
accelerate, they go forward, and that's why we see TERSs be successful, is to tell a developer you can get your money back faster if you perform.
Makes sense.
So it's still a public hearing, so I'm gonna sit down, but
You guys got any questions?
No, you need to ask if there's
The
any
public.
citizen comments first.
citizen comment first.
Anybody, you just want to speak of this TERS for Platinum Ranch? Do you have any comments?
Okay, have it closed.
7:28 p.m. So move on to 7.
Yes.
Well, so basically, we're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Well, hold on.
Segment.
Let me else open
Open
this
number
first,
7.
and then you can ask any question you
Okay.
want.
Item number 7, discuss, consider, and act upon the ordinance for the city council of the city of Gunter, Texas, designating a geographic area partially located within the corporate boundaries of the city, known as the tax increment reinvestment zone pursuant to chapter 311 of the Texas Tax Code, to be known as TERS 3 for the city of Gunter, describing the boundaries of the zone, creating the board of directors for the zone, and appointing members of the board, establishing a the TERS number 3 fund for the zone, containing findings related to the creation of the zone, providing a date for the termination of the zone, providing that the zone take effect immediately upon passage of the ordinance, providing the severability clause, and providing an effective date for Platinum Ranch TERS 3. Open it up for discussion.
There you go.
So, like we said, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. What we just got done passing on 6 was to pull out of X amount of TERS from the bridges.
I wouldn't say robbing, I would say it's financial redistribution.
That's a lot of big words.
You're moving your money out of your savings
Yeah.
account.
I'm taking my money from my
checking
left
account,
pocket to put it in my right pocket.
but you still have the same amount of money in your pants.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I'll make a motion, we approve the ordinance.
So I want to still discuss this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a motion and a second is really needed for
Yeah,
discussion.
I just want to know, I still want to discuss this.
Yeah.
So my only question is that we created a board
Can we
of
go ahead
directors.
and get the second? Yep,
Go ahead.
Jerry made the motion.
Patrick,
I'll
go ahead and
second.
second. Oh, you're going second.
I'll second.
Yeah,
No, wait,
I'll
wait.
talk.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, all right, so, getting back to what I said, so we just had a TERS board meeting, correct? So why is the TERS board not the board of directors for this TERS?
This
Because
will
it just
appoint
says
a
city
board.
council.
created it.
So why are they not the council,
They might
board
very well
members?
be.
They might be, this creates the board for that TERS.
got it, but the way that this is written, it says that it's the city council. So I was just curious as to, is that gonna be adjusted in this? The persons will. The persons
Yeah.
that are identified as the board of directors?
Most of the times we see nowadays that TERSs are created with the city council as the board of directors. That can certainly, as the board of directors, you could decide to appoint another board of directors down the road. But that's typically most TERS, a lot of churches that are being created right now, the board of directors of the TERS is the city council.
So, is there no?
But there are currently no residents in the TERS.
But there will be.
Mhm.
And I would like to think they care about
Absolutely.
being involved, so.
Yeah, and as the board, you would have the ability to appoint future board of directors in the future then once they're
So
all
right now, since there's no one there, we would take their spot.
This ordinance doesn't require us to do that. I think it ought to. As soon as there are people there, we should take up that we're gonna form a proper board that's made of people who live in that.
No, that's fine.
So the first person who buys a house, guess what?
Yeah.
You're the president.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gunter.
So I'd like to amend this ordinance to include provisions for ensuring that a proper citizen board gets made for this TERS.
That would agree.
Well, that's-
I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to amend this ordinance to include a provision for ensuring that a citizen board be put in for the TERS board and not the city council.
I don't think well, let me back up. I don't think you have to do that because you can change the composition of the TERS board at any time. So what would happen is just the council would be appointed initially. Once assuming this passes,
Okay, I'd like language in there that says that this is only
Okay.
initial and there is going to be a citizens board once the citizens are there.
does that cause a problem for
In
you?
the statute, I want it in
You-
the ordinance.
Okay.
Not on the creation piece of it.
Okay.
It is also, nice. It's also right. You, as the board, you could have that as a first action of the board to do that. You can add it in the creation ordinance. Honestly, you're as a board member, you'd be able to take that action afterwards. But
Well, it's always better in the charter than it is in the bylaws. So
Well-
let's get it in the charter.
Mm-hmm.
and,
since we
the only
may
reason
not-
to say that is at this point you're acting as the council as opposed to the board of directors. And so if you, as the board of directors, if you're taking the action as the board of directors, you're now directing yourself what to do. Here, it's the council directing TERS number 2 what to do.
Which we still haven't approved for us to be able.
Yeah, that's the only distinction I'd
That would
make.
be a conflict of interest.
Well, because
If we are the board and the directors?
For that
No,
set.
because
there's no citizens.
I'm just saying,
there.
that's a
Well, yeah, for
question.
right now, there's no citizens there. There will be, and these are 27,
Well, and-
26, so,
You're already on the board for TERS too.
yeah.
Well, we need to fix that too, because those people are in the same.
My only question is, like, talking to you, is that the Texas state law dictates that you, what was it?
You can't serve on two.
You can't be on two boards at the same time.
No, yeah, you can be on as many boards as you want, as long as they don't pay you.
Yeah.
Don't pay you and you don't have.
I can't have an influence of one on the other.
At being paid by one.
No, you can't have an influence
You
on
can't
one.
have two positions that have emoluments, you can't have two paid positions.
Correct.
Correct.
I just read it the other day, so,
What you had read, it said one was paid and one.
yeah, it said that regardless of pay.
You can have as many free ones as you want.
Got it.
You don't want
Got
paid.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure it's legal, that's all that matters to me.
I agree with William. I mean, at some point, when there's houses there, those people need to have a say. But at this point, there's no one there,
There's
so.
nobody there, yeah.
So I'll second William's amendment to add that verbiage in there. Because, 27 and 26, that, who knows if we're all still gonna be here in those times, so we wanna make sure that the residents can handle it.
So you want the language to read to appoint a citizen board comprised of residents of the TERS.
Yes, once they exist.
Okay.
They may not exist for 5 years, I don't know.
Okay, we can make that change. Well, okay, so you made a motion, so we need a second
Wait.
on
I
it.
second it.
You seconded the motion, so first we need to vote on that
I
change.
made an amendment, we need to vote on the amendment first.
Yes.
Right.
So,
I
Wade
second it.
seconded it. So,
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
amendment passes, now we can vote on the
The main motion.
main
The main
motion,
motion, which was Jerry's.
which was Jerry's. Did somebody second it?
No.
Yes, Jerry and Alan.
We had to have a second or we won't be discussing it. Since we're using Robert's rules now.
Now we're voting that, right?
So,
So now we're voting that, right?
well, if you're done discussing something, you can call for the question.
Call the question.
All right. So, Alan, call for the ayes and days and
Nays.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All, any opposed?
And then for the record, the ordinance number will be 2025-12-18-02 regarding Platinum Ranch TERS number 2025-12-1-02. Okay, and now you move to number 8.
Number 9?
Eight.
Number
Eight.
eight,
And
public
then
hearing
open
still.
and close, open.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong side of the page. So, agenda item number 8, this is to open up the public hearing for Taylor Tract for the TERS pursuant to chapter 311 of the Texas Tax Code, reinvestment zone, opening at 7:37.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I believe this is the last dance tonight. Jordan Sawyer, P3 Works Regional Director from North Texas. So tonight we're talking, or this item specifically is to talk about TERS number 4. This covers the Taylor Ranch development. So this PID is also just a little bit bigger than the TERS. Oh, sorry, this TERS is a little bigger than the PID. The PID and the TERS were being created pursuant to a development agreement that was signed back in 2023. The participation rate here is also 33.37% for a 40-year term. I'll note that that's been negotiated since the original 2023 development agreement. This covers about 500 acres of property all within the city limits. Again, the action tonight would be to create the TERS and approve the plan and to establish a board, which we talked about. Anticipating this generating about $320 million in new value. Of that, that's about $47 million in taxes and about $31 million of retained revenue. Again, at those conservative growth rates we were talking about earlier. The revenue that's not retained as pledged under a 380 agreement up to $47.5 million. That goes all the way down to the dollars, so I'm not going to read all the way down, but it is a little bit over $47.5 million. Again, that sets the cap, as well as the 40-year term sets the cap on the amount that goes back to the developer. So again, happy to answer any questions.
Basically the same things we did for Platinum Ranch.
It's intended to align with Platinum Ranch. I think that was a big push from the city staff team to try to get those all on the same, to get those both specifically kind of on the same level.
Is there anyone else that wants to speak on this? Taylor Ranch?
I'll make a motion to
Well,
adopt.
They gotta-
close-
you gotta
gotta
close
close
it.
out.
Okay, cool.
Close out public hearing first.
Okay, let's go ahead and close it at 7:39. Number 9. Agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and act upon the ordinance for the city council of the city of Gunter designating the geographic area within the corporate boundaries of the city and the city as the tax increment zone pursuant to chapter 311 of the Texas Tax Code to be known as number 4 for the city of Gunter, TERS number 4. I guess where everybody else already knows. For the zone containing findings related to the creation of the zone, providing the date for the termination of the zone, providing that the zone take effect immediately upon passage of the ordinance, providing a servability clause, and providing the effective date for Taylor Ranch, TERS number 4.
Make a motion to adopt the ordinance with the same amendment I made in the last one.
Second.
You got Willie went first. Jerry with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And for the record, the ordinance number is 2025-12-18-03, known as Taylor Ranch TERS number 4.
Move on to
12.
item number 12. Discuss, consider, and act upon the ordinance for the city of Gunter, Texas, abandoning all right and title and interest in the variable street right-of-way known as Strawn Road upon the request of the abutting property owner, also known as BNSF.
Now, I believe they're the only abutting property owner.
Yep. They own both sides.
Yeah, this is clean up for our part, as you know, it's part of the developer agreement and our site development plans that we're working on. They will turn, some of this will be private. Strong Road will still go through, but it'll be a private road that serves the logistics center. And then once we abandon our portion of the right of way, there are some portions that are in the county that then the Commissioner Mar will take to their commission and pay them as well.
Is it still gonna be known as Strong Road?
That's being known as private road 1 as far as I know. So we see the plat, they don't.
It's just not gonna go through. It'll go
And I just
inside.
wanna,
They won't go through and be private.
Has anyone had any discussions with Burlington Northern about keeping the name? It's an old family name and it's been there for a long time.
No, but we can, I'm sure they'll be amicable to it if that's what you want.
That would be
Because
nice.
it's a private, that's gonna act like a driveway or a drive is more than it will.
Yeah.
A street, but we can still keep the street
Still be
sign.
nice to keep the history there and not.
That's fine, and they do know the Strongs, they've talked to him, because they're his son and him. The dad have spoken,
You
both
might
of them,
ask them,
so.
see if they would want their name on that though.
Yeah.
I'll run it by, I'll ask
Yeah.
Suji and them.
That'd be great.
Well, assuming the Strongs are amenable to the idea, it would be nice to keep the name.
I'll answer them.
Make a motion to go ahead and approve the ordinance for the city of Gunter for abandoning the title and interest of Strong Road.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Any opposed?
And for the record, the ordinance number is 2025-12-18-04.
Okay. On to item 13. Discuss and consider and act upon the ordinance for the city of Gunter abandoning all right, title, and interest in the variable street right-of-way known as Harris Road, which was connected with Strong on the request of BNSF.
make a motion to approve the ordinance as written.
Second.
We have Pat as the first, William as the second, all in favor?
Aye.
And the ordinance number, I'm sorry, the ordinance number is 2025-12-18-05.
Okay. Move on to item number 14. Discuss and consider and act upon the accepting the letter of resignation from Josh Long from the MDD Place 2.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And that passes. Number 15. Presentation. Guy West on the MDD proposed city entry monument sign. What you got for us?
My name is Micah West, and I don't know if it matters, but it's MICAH.
Okay.
But
That'll
MD
explain the pronunciation.
you got it. MDD is proposing to put a sign where the old monument sign was. The sign itself is 18 feet by 10 foot. It weighs 21,000 pounds. It's meant to look like a rock, but it's not rock. It's basically cement and fiber, and it's meant to last a lifetime. The only thing that you would really have to do to it Obviously, if there's graffiti, you would have to clean it. But the paint, the black part of it, you just repaint it. That's the only part of it.
Is that etched into the stone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
It's
not
like
just,
indented,
yes.
and then they paint over it.
That way we wouldn't need stencils to be able to touch it up.
Mm-mm.
How much is a sign?
And there's no grass.
No grass underneath it violating the ordinance.
More bold, but like the font is still significantly similar.
So going back, we
Yeah.
started talking about the sign in January. There's been a lot of back and forth. It first started with a sign with a LED board, and that was outrageously priced. And then we started going to like a stone, almost like a seat wall with pin raised letters. And then the fear was, since that was going to be a park, kids get on those pin raised letters, they would break. We constantly have to repair them.
That's true.
So, and the intent is to adopt these signs at various entry points. This is just the big monument sign right as you come in. But the thought is to put other smaller signs like on Preston or out on 121 or out on the north side of Preston and kind of tie it all in together.
And how much is this sign?
This sign itself is $57,000. We have adopted not to exceed 67. The other 10,000 is for lighting to light it up.
Yeah, how do you propose lighting?
Up lights from the bottom.
So there's already
Yeah, we've already got power
Yeah,
there.
and we're
We
gonna.
just gotta watch our lights because we're a dark sky ordinance at the same time.
Well, they're gonna be LED lights,
Yeah.
but enough to
well, if they shoot there at the bottom and illuminate up top
Right.
and not shine straight up.
correct.
As long as the kids don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Are we planning on fencing this in at all? Keep the kids away from it?
Not at the
Putting it in
time.
park?
Not at this time. No.
Okay.
So it's not a stone slab that's quarter tons.
It's heavy enough to be.
It's 21,000 pounds.
But it's not solid stone.
It's not solid
synthetic
stone.
material, like Marcus said.
Mhm.
So even if we wanted to like say, build it up a little bit to set it on and then put the lights on that.
Well, it's going to be set on. They have to do a footer because it
Okay.
weighs so
Okay.
much. So basically, they have to do a footer. It's going to be drill piers down first, and then they'll set the footer, and this will be on the footer. And we can have them set it at any height. You know, you can raise up 2 to 3 feet on the
And
footer.
we'll probably have a little bit of a mow edge around it to make Adam's screws easier to mow, so they're not hitting the sign necessarily.
Is there a reason for the, call it what it is, the bedrock looking to it? Like, how does that fit in with Gunter?
It was just the North Texas steel. Yeah.
Our caliche rock. That is the extension to the caliche that we find all the way up.
But that's partly why we're bringing it is because, you know, it's like art, it's in the eye of the beholder, and then there's like, we went through several iterations of combinations of this or that, or what's the design nuance or theme that you're looking for? Want to be something that's aesthetic, kind of Texas and Gunter-ish in the country part of it, but be a little bit more than hickish. That makes,
Yeah.
So this is kind of one that landed on, so we're just bringing it to, you know, discussion for you guys and the citizens to see, because I don't think many people have seen it from NPD to give input, but when it comes to signs and the architectural quality of them, it's a rabbit hole. We can sit
Oh,
here
yes,
and
it is.
discuss it forever. So I mean, you know,
I've got two points on it. One, I think it looks good. The only comment I'd make is on the water tower, the legs are a little long if we're wanting it to represent the water tower we have here.
Mhm.
So we would need to shorten those legs some, which brings me to the second point of it. This is something I'm working on, it hasn't been brought up yet, but we're actually looking to maybe consider moving the water tower to the park.
Mhm.
And kind of incorporating this sign into that. And if that were in fact to happen, we definitely would have to change the legs on that to kind of fit the water tower, if you would. But other than that, that's just
Yeah.
fine tuning stuff. But
That was something I brought up a couple of years ago when I hit the Dietrich roadblock as far as touching that water tower. It's taken me 2 years to break her down. She's finally starting to give up a little bit, and so before a storm gets it, I'd like to get it at least on its first set of legs,
Mhm.
and then have that logo reflect the possibility of moving that, because my fear is we're gonna have a windstorm that's gonna take it out and it'll be an opportunity missed.
Yeah, cause we have the documentation that, I mean, it's gonna happen.
You don't think a windstorm's gonna happen in the park, but it
No,
will right
I
here?
mean-
Oh, no,
No.
well, we're taking it down to its
Move it.
primary legs,
Oh,
not
so
the
it's not
secondary
as
and third set of
Compromised
legs.
structure.
And newer
And
legs
we'd
that are
want
not.
to, we'd want to fence it in,
And this,
because it becomes a climbing issue, much like I was asking about this, the kids climbing on it. At least on the water tower, it's large enough and would definitely warrant a true fence around it to keep the kids out.
Well, is there a way?
I just don't want to see a fence around something like this
Yeah.
that block its view.
Understood.
Well, is
by
there a
not
way for
having
you
this in
guys?
part.
I'm glad that we're looking at a new sign finally. I know we have right now still one sign north of us that is old. Is there a way for you guys to find out what it would cost to move the tower and actually use our tower as our Gunter sign?
I can.
And what I mean also by that is if you look down at Little Elm across from Hydrus and all that, they've got the huge water tower there, but where it's not climbable, if that's a word,
Right.
you know, they can't scale it. So then it would deter kids from
Yeah.
doing it, so.
Well, one of the original signs that we had was a stone wall, and we incorporated the gunner whip with it, and it was all going to be metal. And we were going to do like a mock water tower. It's basically just art piece,
Yeah,
but it was going to cost like $90,000.
okay.
So we can.
well, I'll work with you on to do this because I have actually already started making some contacts. We had TML meeting about a month ago, where I actually met with some people that actually do remodeling and the rebuilding of these water towers and such. So that's why the concept didn't come up. Is the whole idea is that they were pushing at TML is to brand your city, try to find something that that when residents are coming into the city, is kind of a wow factor for them and kind of explains your city.
Yeah.
The water tower, obviously you've got the water tower in there, so you're already on that piece. That's why we thought about maybe the water tower there. The second side of it was the fact that it needs to be reworked because of where it's at. But I could work with you on that.
Well-
How much space would that require?
I don't know. It depends on how far we're bringing that tower down. We're thinking probably just one set of legs. And if that's the case, then it's probably going to be maybe a 30 by 30 square,
Be enough room to put it behind?
maybe.
Well, I would say you put it to the left of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And just my thought would maybe in the center or even
So
to the left.
Regardless, the wording we can change.
Right.
Yeah.
The wording is
No, I
not
do.
set.
I think that monument sign actually is very appropriate. I don't want to see kids climbing on it, and I don't want to see us put a fence around it. So if it was not in the park and north of town, I'm good. That's the water tower. If it's elevated up, it's appropriate for us to be able to put a fence around it to keep anybody from gaining access to it because it's elevated up. I don't see us putting that heavy of a monument that far off the ground just so that it's not being obscured by a fence. That's just my opinion.
So are you saying use that and the water tower there to it?
Use the water tower in the city park and use this on the north end.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, north end.
Because in the north end, we don't have the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah,
We don't have the kids.
because that's what I was looking at, is like, if we can repurpose the water tower, and I'll look at Deidre the whole time I say this, with a smile, we can repurpose it to make it look better, just to see what it costs. If it's obviously over $70,000, then yeah, no.
Well, I mean, we're
But-
at 7, we're almost at 70
I
on
know,
this.
but just to repurpose, because we already
Yeah.
have it, I don't know what a relocate is, and then, yeah, a little bit of freshening up. You could even put it toward the gunners, or pushed out a little bit, lights behind it, you can change the colors for the seasons.
Just so you're aware, I mean, we're looking kind of a rough estimate on just on painting the water tower, which
Oh, no.
we would not be painting. It's going to be more of a rustic.
Yeah,
kind
keep
of
the patina.
It is
Keep the patina.
It's patina.
Yeah.
It's patina, but
Everybody
it's
else
going to
cleans
be
them up.
a remanufactured.
Actually, on the documents, it was taking it back to original. It was taking it back to silver
Yeah.
with the black font and literally just says Gunter established in 1901.
Well, the point I was making with it is just in the initial discussions, we're looking at probably somewhere between $90,000 and $130,000. But the initial pricing that they got to do the water tower, however so long ago it was pushing over $300,000.
But that was to recondition it to back to use.
And this-
Might as well
not
build it this
back.
way.
It was just there was the base of it had to be
Yeah.
fixed, there was 4 spots that needed to be fixed on the legs. That was the paint, and that was it,
So,
Well, thank you very much
Yes.
for
Yeah.
going through the work to go and provide this for us in the city. I think it looks pretty decent. I like the ideas. I do like the comment on the water tower, something a little bit more with that. But thank you very much for the effort that the MDD has put in to generate this.
The sign looks great.
yeah, and again, the intent was to put this at the park as you're coming in, because we're trying to tie it into the future downtown area.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And we can make smaller signs, like you said, put it another. We still feel like this sign needs to be as it comes into the town, but there's also other smaller signs that we can do outside
Right.
as you come in.
I agree with that. I believe this needs to be at the park too, so. And we just need to see if we can work the water tower into it, and if not, then we don't, but just look at the whole concept. I agree.
We have a workshop coming up January
17.
That'd be great. We can really get into the weeds.
So the other part is like you guys have put in a lot of work into it. I would love to actually see if there's a way to put this out on Facebook and say, hey, what do you think? You know, get the people's attention, because that's the other thing. We all got to look at it driving in.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. My first thought is Flintstones. So, you know, bedrock.
There was a time we were
So
gonna
that's-
have a contest and invite the whole city to come
Yes.
up with the logo and the design and
concept.
everything, and then
So, I mean, I like it, but
it kept getting set
Yeah.
aside and not making it into the agenda for some reason, so I think we should.
Yeah.
And
because this would be for even for both for MDD and council. This is probably one of the top 5 decisions that we would have to make that every citizen would be dealing with it daily. So I want to make sure that it's
What everybody would want.
majority-ish. I know we can't make everyone happy, but yeah. So I like it. I'm glad that you guys are doing this.
Okay.
I'm looking
We
forward to that.
considered
workshop.
more like a modern, like brick look and whatnot, but we were worried about how that would hold up over time.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Mike went down this path because its durability was
Oh,
important,
absolutely.
road maintenance, all those things.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I mean, we don't have nice weather year round. You know, it's heckish on everything. So okay.
And the amount of dust that we got, you won't even notice it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Well, we until we stand getting hit.
What was the turnaround time on the sign, you know?
6 to 8 weeks.
That's pretty quick.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's just 16.
16.
There is no after that.
Yeah.
number 16.
Right here.
There we go. Went right on past it. There it is. Discussion regarding interlocal agreement between Grayson County and the City of Gunter for emergency medical services. What do you know?
What do I know, sir? I know it's been a great day. So this is really kind of a formality. We budgeted $70,000 for this line. Last year we paid $60 to the county. They inadvertently charged us roughly $40, and the total is actually supposed to be $65, slightly more than what we paid last year. We felt like it was important that y'all were aware of kind of those back and forth numbers there as it relates to that. But that gives you a general overview of where we're at. Again, under budget from previous requests, but it is at the 65 instead of the 40 that they inadvertently had documented with us.
Cameron,
Sir,
where did this contract come from?
OEM, Grayson County.
Okay. Well, I want to make a motion to table this. Do we
It's
have
just
a
a
deadline?
it's just a discussion.
Do we have a deadline for this thing? It's just a
I
discussion.
can't speak to whether or not there's a deadline.
This has already been signed.
It's already been signed. This one's not signed either.
No, it's not going to be.
So you're letting us know that
Welcome
you
to my world.
budgeted for 70.
She only put it on
They
here
said
for
45
discussion.
last time, but this year
No,
they're
they
charging
said,
65.
last year we paid 60
Okay.
to the county for emergency medical services, the ambulance.
Mhm.
Okay. When they originally sent us the initial September that y'all was
Yeah.
discussed, it was written at 40.
I'm pretty sure I.
But
Right.
we budgeted for 70.
We budgeted for 70, knowing that it wasn't going to be less than it was the year before.
So
Turns out
just
that
in
was a
case.
mistake. Matthew seeing this number on here is 65 for the annual. So, but it was important that y'all were aware of those
Yeah.
components.
Okay. So it's a good thing that we didn't say, hey, let's put it at 55.
Yeah, you won't see us come to y'all budgeting less without getting information that indicates as such.
Okay. Now, is that, yeah. Now, is that meaning that when you do this, now that we've got the official thing, you're good, they're not gonna come back or have some more added on to take out of that last 5K in your budget?
Not that I'm aware of, but I wouldn't have expected them to come back on the other number. However, I mean, when it came back less, there were certainly concerns, right?
Yeah.
And so we're where we expected to be when we did our budget with y'all. So there's no
There's no
major
more coming out of
abnormalities.
that pocket of the budget.
Okay. The only question I have
Mhm.
regarding this is this a reaction to the disapproval of a tax out in the county that this adjustment came from? Or you don't know enough?
I don't know that. There's certainly, in the indications in the emails, is not consistent with anything like that.
Okay.
It's more consistent with, oops. We
Got
should have told you
clerical
65. It was 60 last year. Our bad. Help us out. Can you get this updated and get your council approved so we can get back to where we should be?
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that I asked that question.
Any other questions for me? I might have ran the calculator before I came up to the podium.
All right, anybody else?
Thank you.
Just the time to
All
close.
right, it's time to close.
Let's go ahead and close this meeting at
I need
8:02.
to ask a request for what we would like to put on the agenda.
So since I'm gonna have to force the issue, I'd like to see if 2 other aldermen will vote for this and get it on the agenda next time.
Okay, so because,
I'm talking, Courtney, please don't interrupt. So, do I have anyone who will back me on this to get 3 aldermen to put this on the agenda?
I wanted to actually talk about that a little bit more because I was not here. So, yeah, because I want to understand a little bit more into it. So, I say yes. On to it, because that's what I was gonna have to put on the agenda to bring it back to the table.
But to put this on, does it not
Yeah, this
require a
is the vote
supermajority to
This is the
bring
vote
it
that
back up?
well, that's what I'm trying to say, but I'm letting.
Go ahead.
Okay, so because this is an item that passed on a previous agenda, to bring it back before the body, you would have had to have made a motion to reconsider at the meeting at which it was considered. And that motion would have had to been made by somebody who voted in for the item. That didn't happen at that meeting. So the standard way to get this back on the agenda, you can't do. However, there's another option. You can make a motion to suspend the rules. And the suspension of the rules would say, okay, we're going to suspend the rules because we want to reconsider this item. You have to have a motion and a second, and a motion to suspend the rules has to pass by a supermajority. So if you get a supermajority to say, yes, we want to reconsider this, then you can suspend your rules and then you can vote on the motion to reconsider.
Okay, well, we're not gonna get a supermajority, so I'm just gonna make a motion, to put back on the agenda next meeting to pass an ordinance to rescind that thing. Rescind it completely, get rid of it, nuke it.
And that's what that's what you can't do because you
Yeah,
didn't.
You're saying once we pass an ordinance, we can never unpass it?
I'm saying this matter is, you can't reconsider this ordinance. If you want to draft, if you want an ordinance.
Brand new one that undoes the old one.
Okay, if you want, then you can draft it, or you can direct staff to draft it, whatever you wanna do,
Well,
you
I'm
can.
asking to get it on the agenda first.
Okay,
And I need 2 votes to get it on the agenda, but it's apparently just asking for it, like supposedly is the way it works, doesn't get it back on the agenda.
Oh, yeah.
So 1 vote.
Yeah.
3 aldermen can require something to be on the agenda, and that is 3 aldermen, and that requires it to be on the agenda. So it better be on the next meeting. And we better take it up, and I will ask the staff to prepare an ordinance to undo the old one. Or I'll write it myself if y'all don't want to do it.
well, it's not a matter of not wanting to, it's, I'm just trying to make sure we're following.
Well, we
The
rushed it
parliamentary
through last
procedure.
time when we didn't need to, forced it as a vote when I asked to wait until Wade got here. And we had to have Karen jump in and be a tiebreaker. And this was not looked at properly, and it was rushed, and it was a shove it down your throat kind of a deal. So we need to revisit it, and we need to undo it.
I have no dog in this fight. I'm just trying to make sure we follow parliamentary
Doing it legally.
procedure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So is there anything else?
Yes. TERS 2
Well,
is in the exact same boat as TERS 3 and 4. We need to put on the agenda that we're going to take up getting that ordinance amended so that the eventual citizens can have participation.
I agree. Yes, I think that should be.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you're talking about,
This one.
hey, Don,
What's
you
that?
gotta give me a sec. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so this
The
is
meeting is still going and I cannot hear.
regarding TERS 2 needs to have the same amendment made that we did for TERS 3
Okay.
with and 4 with having a
Citizen board.
citizen board with the
Okay.
residents of the area.
Okay,
And then TERS 1, there is a contract floating around somewhere that says something. I don't know what it says. We need to bring that up, look at it, understand it, and decide if we're gonna keep it or not, because my recollection is it emasculates the TERS 1 board. And I think the people that live in TERS 1 have the same right as TERS 2, 3, and 4 to be participating in what goes on in those TERSs. And clearly, from the discussion we had during the TERS meeting earlier, we don't seem to know what's going on in the TERS. So we'd like to get that contract brought back up, looked at, and consider rescinding that contract, putting that TERS 1 board back in place so it's a proper board and people that live there actually have some say.
And the only thing I can see is that the TERS Board 1 would only be the estates, would it not?
Well, it's whatever's left, yeah. It won't be me, because
Right.
I'm not in the part that got done, but that doesn't matter. The people
Yeah.
that live in that TERS should still have a
Because
say.
we just shrunk the population for participation.
It won't be me, it won't be Mike, and it won't be Karen. We're all 3 on the other side. It's gonna be out. But the people that still live on the estate side ought to be participating in that.
Trust me, I know what's being on the wrong side of the tracks is. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I made a motion a long time ago to have that logo contest, so the city's got a lot of growth coming, and if we're gonna change the logo, we should have everybody in town participate. I submitted language, I submitted all kinds of things, so I'd like to get that back on the agenda as well. So we can have that going and get everyone's participation. The whole town has a right to decide what our logo looks like and what we're gonna present to the rest of the world as we grow.
First place to start on that would be to ask if anybody's even interested, the town itself.
Well, how are you gonna know if you don't ask them? So
That's what I'm saying.
well, and this is just a matter of putting it on the agenda, which I think
Yes.
is staff has been directed to do.
That runs parallel.
and so you're talking about rebranding.
Yeah, that's what Jerry said.
Well, there's some
Rebranding
talk
includes
about
logo.
rebranding, but there's some talk about what, I mean, do we wanna keep the water tower? I think it's something we've always had, we always know what it is, but it doesn't mean we want it to look exactly the same. Karen's mentioned a couple of times that she wants to change the color. It's something that the whole town ought to be involved in, which is why we do a contest, we get lots of people to submit ideas, and I wrote all the language up for putting out the contest, and we just need to bring that back up and get everybody involved. Maybe nobody cares, but maybe everybody cares, who knows? if you ask them to go out and do the design work, there's another thing that it'll solve. We don't know where that logo came from. We don't know who drew it, we don't know who owns
Yes, we
it,
do.
we don't know if we own it.
We do own it.
We do?
We do own
Who drew it?
it. Angela Houston's company drove this.
Okay, well, that's the first I've heard that in the 3 years I've been.
I'm sorry, no one's asked me, but that is our entire logo. That is ours and has been the 8 years I've been here.
First time the other day, that's awesome.
It's the first time I've heard that one. Oh, so.
No,
No, the logo down here, this is City of Gunter with the tower, and then they went back and
And the
removed
question
the
is,
grass.
as we go forward, branding, like that sign that the MDD did, it's a nice sign, but it's not that logo. And we don't want multiple looks. We want a look, and we want to consistently move forward as we brand the town. And every time anything shows up through Gunter, it needs to be the same logo. Exactly the same, and it never needs to deviate anywhere. It needs to be consistent, a clear message.
Well, no, it's down below.
Okay,
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a great logo, but do we want to like make it more minimal to print or do anything to it? Is it fine like it is? Do we want to keep it and move forward, or we want to change it? But if we do, it should be the whole town should get involved.
My only concern is by moving forward, by rebranding all of that, is everything on city side is not in our budget. I mean, you're talking all of our shirts, all of our business cards,
Everything.
everything,
Logos on the police.
everything, police
Well,
vehicles,
maybe
police
logo,
vehicles
it's
everything.
different, and that's another problem. You know,
maybe
again,
rebranding is not in our cards right now, but I understand that,
Yeah.
put it out there.
Put it
see
on
what
the
people
agenda.
do.
Let's
I think it should just go to the agenda,
Yeah.
we're not discussing.
Yeah, let's just put it on the agenda, get feedback, and we'll go from there. All right, I gave him a chocolate to keep his mouth busy. Let's go ahead and close this meeting at
I'm
8:12.
done. I have more.
What'd you say?
8:12.
8:12?